Am I the idiot for spending way more money on one niece's gift than the other? I, female 42, have two nieces, Jessica and Jane, both of which are female 18. I have always been a lot closer to Jessica than to Jane, so this issue between me and Jane, and her mother, Mary, has been brewing for quite a while. I don't think this is my fault. Part of it is just natural because Jessica and I enjoy similar things, but also, Jane often makes the conscious decision to exclude herself, as in, I will invite her, and she says no, but she still gets upset that the end result is that I am closer to Jessica, as does Mary. Now that the girls are older, I find it a lot easier to just ask them upfront what they want for Christmas. Usually they both give me a short list of things they like and they pick something. Both of them listed gift cards for shops this year, so I thought it would be great. I'll buy them each a gift card and a box of chocolates or something. I bought Jane's and then went to buy Jessica's, and here's where I may have fricked up. The shop she sent me to was amazing, but very expensive. Like I said, we both enjoy the same things, and one of those things is clothes. One of the dresses in particular was gorgeous, and I knew Jessica would love it, but a gift card for £25, what I got Jane, wouldn't even cover an eighth of the cost. I adored the dress and my first thought was how excited she'd be to unwrap it, so I ordered it as a bit of an impulse decision. We have an uncles and aunts group chat where we share what we got for the kids so there's no crossover. I said that I'd bought a gift card from X shop for Jane and a dress from Y shop for Jessica. A small alarm bell did ring here, but I presumed that, like me, none of the other adults would recognize the brand. However, Mary did some investigating and was fuming that I spent so much on Jessica's gift, accusing me of favoritism, and some others did, perhaps fairly, agree that it was shitty to have such a monetary gap in between the presents. I said I'd get Jane something else from her list so she had a bigger present too, but Mary said that I should buy enough from Jane's list to make up the financial gap. I said that A, I could buy Jane's entire list and not fill the gap, and that B, that makes it a precedent, and I just cannot afford that amount of money to go towards every child. Since Jane and Jessica are similar in age and there's all the history, I'm happy to add an extra gift, and I did ask Mary if there was something more expensive than she usually expects that I could add to the gift card so she also gets a big gift, but Mary is still angry and freezing me out. I think she's told Jane. The rest of the family are determinedly not taking sides as it's now got very messy. I don't know what to do, am I the idiot? Edit, okay, thanks to everyone. I can't bring myself to return the dress, but I think I'll put it aside as Jessica's parents won't have told her anything, and give it to her on another occasion. What I'd like to do is get Jessica something else for about £25 and then their presents will be equal. I also wouldn't be opposed to buying Jane a large gift that she'll really like if someone can direct me to something like that in time. I am very much hoping that I'm wrong about Mary telling Jane what happened, because then she'll still probably feel hurt. But honestly, if Mary has told Jane, I don't think any changes to the gifts themselves will resolve it. I'll order Jessica something else, and then call Mary to apologize and check if Jane knows. I think if she does, I'll call her to explain myself and apologize too. Update. I was able to talk to Mary last night. Unfortunately, I was right about her telling Jane. I really don't know why, and she said that she and her husband had already bought Jane that big thing she asked for this year. But I should ask Jane for what else she wanted. Jane says that she doesn't want anything else, and also that she does not want to do anything together. I'm not sure if that's because she generally doesn't like spending time with me or because she's hurt. Probably a combination of both, so I'll try again once she's had time to cool down. I've ordered a pair of £21 earrings for Jessica so their presents on the day should be equal, and I'll give her the dress next year, maybe for her birthday, or when she's finished her A-levels or something. Thank you everyone who made a comment, especially those who offered constructive insight into how I could try and repair our relationship, or how I might have interpreted Jane's feelings incorrectly. Now for comments before the second update. You're the idiot. What's the price difference here? Double what Jane got? Triple? The fact that you said you could buy everything on Jane's list and still not spend the same amount is worrying. A tiny difference is fine. Buying an expensive designer dress for one and an impersonal $25 gift card for the other is not. Your favoritism is showing. You're the idiot. But only kind of. You're allowed to have favorites. What you aren't allowed to do is make that painfully obvious to the non-favorites. Update. I thought I'd write out an update now that the situation has been resolved as a thank you to Reddit. Thanks to everyone on the last post knocking some sense into me. I gave them equal Christmas gifts. I decided to give Jessica the dress when she got her A-level results. It has just been decided that her year won't be taking exams, but she still has a results day, so I think it will be fine. I sent Jane her £25 gift card, Jessica a pair of £21 earrings, and some slippers for both. Many commenters pointed out that Jane had rejected spending time with me during her teenage years, which are typically very turbulent, and that doesn't mean that we can have an adult relationship. However, Jane was still very upset with me as her mother had told her about the dress, so my plan was to let things blow over and then try and reach out to her again. She remained understandably hurt leading up to the Christmas period and unfortunately ended up lashing out at Jessica. She commented something unkind on an Instagram post and Jessica naturally retaliated, especially as she was confused as to what her cousin was talking about. It turned into a messy online fight and many of Jessica's friends came to her defense, quite cruelly in some cases. At which point I got a phone call from Mary about how her daughter was being bullied because of me. I messaged Jane to check that she was okay and to ask her to remember that she was angry at me and not Jessica, but she didn't read it. Jane eventually sent a proper apology to Jessica and I believe that Jane received apologies from some of Jessica's friends. However, they were both naturally very upset about the unkind messages they received and Jessica was aware that Jane only apologized after their parents spoke, so it remained very tense between them. I felt awful about the fight, so messaged Jane again reiterating my previous apology. I explained to Jessica that Jane had caught wind that she was receiving a pricier gift this year, as she was obviously very confused, and apologized to her too. Jessica said thank you, but it was Jane's choice to be nasty online and not mine. Jane ignored my message again. I'm on good terms with both of my brothers, Jessica's dad, who generally has very little patience with Mary and this topic, and Jane's dad, who was very upset with Jane for what she wrote about her cousin, but Mary has been very cold. So you can imagine that between that and the girls there was some tension on the family Zoom call. I received thank you messages from both girls about their gifts. Jessica sent me a selfie of her wearing the earrings and Jane even sent me a screenshot of what she ordered with her gift card. We're in a fresh lockdown so there's not much point in making any plans, but Jane and I have been texting. She re-apologized, no fatherly intervention, this time for lashing out at Jessica and things were a lot smoother on the New Year's Zoom. Thank you very much to everyone who helped me out with this. You're the idiot. Poor girls. You set them up for this by blatantly playing favorites then sitting back to watch the chaos. I hope you are happy with yourself, OP. You're the idiot. I'm glad that you made their Christmas gifts more equal. But given they are the same age, are you planning on getting Jane a gift when she finishes high school too? It seems like this is creating a big wedge between the cousins, so I hope that the adults can try and work out how to avoid making this worse. Now for the next story. Would I be an idiot for taking a job with my dad's biggest client, meaning he won't get any more work with them? My dad has a business that me and my brother work for. I want to leave the family business entirely to my older brother. He says it makes the most sense because my older brother is his oldest child and has been in this business the longest. He has a business degree and knows much more about the business side of this work. While I do the physical aspect of the job very well, I was a bit impulsive when I was younger, so he doesn't think it would be a good idea for me to be in charge. To be honest, I don't think it would be either. But considering how much I contribute to this business, and that I am his son too, I think I should at least get some say in the future of the business, and a stake in the company. Not even half, but some. In the end my father said no, but that I would get some money after he died. The whole thing really pissed me off and I was starting to get bitter continuing to work there, and be around them, so I gave my 2 weeks notice. I've just been trying to keep a neutral demeanor the whole time. This week is my last week and Jared, the guy that represents our biggest client, was asking if I could take care of this other project next week. So I told him I would pass that along to my brother, but that I'm not going to be working here next week. Jared and I talk a lot and are pretty friendly with each other because I'm the one that mostly works this job. We've actually hung out outside of work a few times. So he asked why I was leaving. I just said for personal reasons. He asked where I was going to be working and I told him I wasn't sure yet because there's not a lot of businesses that need employees with my skills. Anyway, today while I'm working, Jared's boss comes down and asks me if I will consider working for them. He said he's been thinking for a while of doing all this work in-house, but has been having trouble finding someone experienced since it's such a specialized field. He said he's always been very happy with my work and that's why they always asked me. He offered me a 3-year contract and the salary is so much more than I would ever have made at my dad's company, plus it comes with benefits and an office. Not sure what I'll do with an office, but that seems pretty cool. I also get to pick out the equipment and I can hire 2 employees to work under me. Overall it's an amazing deal, but I know that losing this client will hit my family's business hard. At the same time, it's not like I was asking for it or trying to steal their client. He was the one that came to me and wanted me. I thought about maybe using this as a bargaining chip with my dad to get some say and stake in the company. But honestly, I don't want to get it that way and I just don't want to work with either of them anymore. Now for comments before the update. Not the idiot. I think putting in your 2-week notice was the final bargaining chip. If they didn't care enough to keep you then, they aren't going to care enough to keep you now. They'll just want their client back, and who knows what will happen after that. Maybe they keep their word to you, maybe not. Take this job. Secure your future. But be prepared for the backlash of your family, not the idiot. Your dad was being completely unfair. You now have an awesome opportunity, go for it. I would, however, check any employment contracts you have and make sure you're doing it by the book. For example, my old contract stated I couldn't work in a competitor business until 6 months after I left my old place. Update. So it's been a while since my first post and things have been settled. I felt like a good amount of y'all said it was okay to take the job. There were a few that said I should give my dad and brother a heads up that this was all happening before I accepted the job so as not to blindside them. So that's what I did the day after I made my original post. The talk itself didn't go so smoothly though. They got pretty angry. My dad said this was a reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business because I'm selfish and only think of myself when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed. My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. I didn't exactly want to stay around them anymore after that, so I just walked out early that day and decided not to finish out the rest of the week that I was going to. Later I called to formally accept the job. The equipment we ordered only came last week, so I was basically just being paid to stay at home and do nothing for the first few weeks. It was actually nice to have a break from everything before diving into work again. It's been pretty great at the new place though. My new workspace is a lot different, nicer, from my dad's shop. It's wide and open. It has air conditioning, assigned parking so no more fighting for a spot on the street. The office they gave me isn't huge, but it's also nice. Like I said in my previous post, I don't have much use for an office, but it's still nice to have a private place to myself, especially one with a mini fridge. Overall, I definitely feel much more appreciated here than I ever felt working with my dad. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to my dad or brother since, and I don't think I will. I had heard from Jared that right after I had left after talking to them about the job, they had called my new boss and tried to deter him from hiring me. I also heard from a cousin that my dad's business isn't doing so well right now, and they had to let some people go, and are downsizing. Some of their other clients had shut down their businesses due to COVID. So that combined with losing their big client permanently hit them hard. Anyway, there's not much more to say than that. Many of you were right in that it all likely did permanently damage my relationship with my father and brother, but I still want to say thank you to everyone who encouraged me to take the job, not the idiot. They're mixing up cause and effect. Business partners are responsible for looking out for the well-being of the business. Employees are responsible for doing a job in return for money. Your father and brother made a decision that you are an employee instead of a business partner, and now they're mad at you for acting like an employee instead of a business partner. If they actually wanted you to act in the best interests of the business instead of seeking the highest pay and best working conditions for the job you are paid to do, they should have cut you in as a part owner so that it would actually be one of your responsibilities.